Okay, hello everyone. I want to show you how to operate this machine, this gadget. Just like you, I also learned about it just the other day. So I'm not really perfect, but I'm just going to show you in simpler form. The only way to use this machine, first of all, is to understand it. We all know it is a solar controlling gadget, system gadget. And if there's the sun, whenever it's hot, you don't need to put it on. You can only put it on when, for instance, we have a weather like this one, which keeps on fluctuating. It's cold, it's raining, and all that. Now, this machine, first of all, I need to understand that you can be able to command it and to get your water whenever it's hot, whenever you need it. Let's say, for instance, in the morning you want to have a hot shower in the morning, you can be able to tell this machine that I want you to start heating my water at certain time, and by a certain time I don't want you to use electricity anymore, and I want to find my water hot. So how do you use it? How do you do it? First of all, put it on just like that. Most of these machines are already preset. Most of them are preset at 26, 19 degrees Celsius, and all that. Okay, so you can see that you can be able to set. We have the time here. Right now it's 2014. You can be able to set that by just going to clock, and you see you can be able to go to. You can set, just like that. Okay, and you go to escape. Okay. So how do you operate this machine? You need, first of all, to, like I said, what kind of measuring unit do we need? Do you need degrees Celsius? Do you need Fahrenheit? You can be able to change that by going to setting, long press it. Okay, you're going to see a lot of parameters, but what we really need is just what we are able to measure. What we're able to use, you can go all the way to until you go to unit, go to set. Okay, you're going to go to temperature, press it again until it starts blinking. So already this one is already at Celsius, degree Celsius, but you can be able to put at Fahrenheit if you want to, but it's just based on how you understand. Me personally, I prefer degree Celsius. So like that, and they're already set. We go to escape, and we go back to our default setting. So how do you, if you want to heat this the MH, it's called menu heating. You can use it. It is a one-off. On this one, you're not really, you don't have a lot of command in this. You can just do double click like that, and the water is starting to heat. When you see it blinking, it's telling you that current is flowing to the water tank. So on this, just the way we did it, how do you know that your water is, will actually be hot? This one you're not setting any time frame. Like I said, it's just a one-off. So what you'll be doing is you just be calming. You can give it, let's say, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, let's say 1 hour. So you'll come to check whether the water is hot or not. Okay, but there's a way also you can be able to set the temperature. There you can be able to say that I want my water to be maintained at 70 degrees Celsius, depending on how you want your water to be hot. So that is one of the ways of actually heating. Most of the time, if you don't want to leave it on for a very long time, as long as it's blinking, it means that current is flowing to the water tank. So that's just one way. It is the simplest way to do that. The only problem is that you have to keep on coming and checking whether the water is hot or not. Okay. The other way is there are time frame and time zones, the time frequency that you can be able to set. Now, if you see this one tells you the time heating. Now, time heating 1, it tells you that you want that water to start the starting point should be time heating 1 for this interval. The 0 tells you it's 1, okay? It's the beginning. Okay, you have time heating 1, you have time heating 1 final, you have time heating 2 0, that is the starting point, time heating 2 final, you have time heating 3 0, time heating 3 0, final. So those are 3 time intervals. So you can be able to set, if you want to leave it on for a long time, you can be able to say that. You can say, depending on the time frame, you can say, for instance, I want my water to start heating, let's say at between 6 and goes off at 7 a.m. and then the second interval should start heating at 3 and goes off at 4 p.m. and then probably the other one should be hitting at the other time, just like the way you want it. Okay, now I want to show you the simplest way. If, for instance, you want to leave this machine on the whole day, and you don't want to keep on putting it on and off, but you want to command it and tell it that I want my water to be maintained at a certain degree Celsius. If that water in the water tank goes below a certain degree Celsius, I want the electricity to kick on, and that electricity should kick on until the water reaches a certain degree Celsius. How do you do that? You go to time heating 1 0. Okay, once you go there, you go to setting until you go to the time. Now I want the timing should be 0. Remember, this time we are not dealing with time frequency. We are just saying if my water reaches us below a certain degree Celsius, I want electricity to kick on. So you make sure your time is 0. This is the military timing. You make sure it's 0. You can be able to add time if you want, as long as it's blinking. You see the way you want, and say time 01 should start at 3, but I want it to be 0. That means we are not being measured by the time. We want to deal with temperature alone. So you make sure it's 0, like that. Okay. I want us to click until now it goes to temperature. Now, what I'm training this, what I want to command this machine to do is to tell it that if my water in the water tank goes below, let's say 49 or whatever you want, mine is normally at 50. Okay, if it goes below 50 degrees Celsius, like that, I want that water to start doing what? To start heating. Okay, and then what will be the T final, TH final? Again, we go to timing, we make sure it's 0. Now this is the time heating 1 final. Okay, want it to be 0. Like that. So remember, we are not all the timings, time heating 1 and time heating 1 final, they are all at what? 0 0. So we go to the temperature. So remember, I said if the water go below 50, the electricity should take on. Up to what time? Up to which degree Celsius? Now you start putting. Now you say, for example, you can say, put it at 70 degrees Celsius. So you are commanding and saying like that. It is already on. So you can put escape. So the water is already at, I've left it at what? TH1 final. So it tells you that anytime if my water goes below 50 degrees Celsius, the electricity should start on until the water reaches 70 degrees Celsius. Okay, and then define. So that one, what you do now, you can be able to leave it on. It means that the electricity, the only time that the electricity is going to be utilized is when the water goes below 50 degrees Celsius. So, and that's what most of the people do. Instead of coming to set time frames and all that. So anytime the water goes below 50 degrees Celsius, the electricity kicks on until the water reaches 70 degrees Celsius. Now you can set that depending on the time. Okay? Now, the other way is to say that is TH1. You can say you can also go to TH2 0. No, this is another way. I'm saying that, for instance, this one is set already at 1800. So it says I want my water to start heating at electricity to kick on at 1800. Okay. Up to what time? What will be our 2H2 final? Up to 18. Now, if so, you can put the time. For instance, you can put. So I can say my water should heat. 2H final should be up to 19. That's 1 hour. Okay, you can do that. Now, the reason why I have put 18 is to cancel off those settings. Because it means that the starting point of electricity is at 18 and the ending time is 18. So there's no electricity to be utilized when there's no difference on the time interval. So those timings, they are just off. Okay, so you can do that and say my water should be maintained at 42 degrees Celsius dot. So if you want to escape. So like now my water is already heating. Remember what I said, that if my water goes below 50 degrees Celsius, the electricity should kick on. So how do you cancel the time interval? How do you cancel the setting? You cancel the setting by putting the same time interval. If TH1 is 0, TH1 starting point is 0, 0, TH2 also, TH1 final should be 0, 0. So that means that there's no electricity. Electricity is going to be kicked on and off at the same time. So that's how you do what? That's how you set. So I hope that helps you. So we'll keep on learning together. I'll find more ways of simplifying that thing, but I think most of you have understood how you put it, how you just set the time frame and time zone, and how you can command it to heat the water up to certain temperature that you want. Okay, thank you. Good night.